My name is Riley Fredrickson, and I'm here to propose why one key should switch to RFID keys and why they should go to a foreign manufacturer to get their product. One Key is in the hotel industry, and they supply hotels with key cards to unlock every door in their buildings. Previously, they used a barcode system where all you have to do is swipe the card to unlock the lock. But now there's this new RFID technology where they put a little chip inside each card, and all you have to do is touch it to the lock, and it's very user friendly and very compatible, and it has many advantages as we're going to see. In my first article, Factors Affecting RFID Adoption in the Hospitality Industry, it went over the advantages and disadvantages of the basic technology. Some of the advantages and different uses of this technology are, like I just said, in the hotel industry, it's called intelligent systems. So they're using basically lock and key. So it just has one job to do, and all it can do is unlock that door. Cashless settlement systems, that's basically where they can put money on a card with that chip, or like at Dave and Buster's, when you get that little card, you can put more money on it if you want to spend. And then there's also meeting technology that it mentioned, which was pretty cool. It has an RFID chip in your name tag, and whenever business employees walk into the meeting, they can have the contact information on them right when they walk in. So it can hold a lot of information and have a lot of uses, but one of the main worries that they mentioned was security infringement. So this is kind of an ethical issue and kind of an information issue. So if they're gathering information without consent of their customers, then that's going to end up being a problem. But that's on the hotels. That's not really on us. All we have to do is supply our customers with their product. In the second article that I researched, it's called A Study of AMT in North America. AMT meaning Advanced Manufacturing Technologies. So this study was a comparison between developed and developing countries. The developed countries were Canada and U.S., so both in the North America, and then developing was from Central America with Costa Rica and Mexico. For Canada and U.S., their sample size was 97 different firms, and for Costa Rica and Mexico, it was a combined 125 firms. So it's a pretty good sample size of different manufacturing firms. The main takeaways from this study were that how much of a bigger labor demand there are in developing countries. So they need the work and they want the work. So supply and demand, that's generally going to make your price for production lower. And then also they had higher performance levels than developed countries. So there's more of a demand and there's better performance in these developing countries. And there was also a stat that showed who can make my product. They went through a list of all different kinds of products that were manufactured, and I guess these key cards would be miscellaneous manufacturing, and only 14% of developed countries, US and Canada, only 14% out of that sample size were even able to make my product. And it was a little bigger in the developing countries of Costa Rica and Mexico, of 20% and 18%. So it's more likely to find a partner in those developing countries that can make the product that I need. In my third article was really based on manufacturing in China. It was called A New Era for Manufacturing in China. So it basically went over the history of how China became the powerhouse of manufacturing and why they're not really at the top right now. And that cause is basically on the shift in their economy. So with that shift in the economy, the working wages went up and just kind of had a domino effect, and kind of affected the production prices for different consumers like me. So not only that, but tariffs were implemented in in 2018, 2019 by the Trump administration. So in this next article, the impact of U.S. tariffs against China on U.S. imports, it explains how the Trump administration implemented these tariffs, and it affected China and other countries, but it also did not affect certain countries as well. So this study was done by collected data from the 30 U.S. trade partners, the 30 biggest partners of the U.S. And so these tariffs, when you look at the evidence, it shows that the tariffs affected China almost in a 180 fashion, going from really positive to really negative production rates. And but other countries like Mexico and the Philippines, they were less affected and almost not at all by these tariffs. So just these politics could be a risk in getting a partner over in China. But there are other countries like Mexico and the Philippines and Korea, or even Brazil, that can make the product for the same price, if not a cheaper price, and still hold a high production value to the product. So with all this evidence gathered, in conclusion, I do suggest going outside the country for a manufacturing partner. It's definitely going to be beneficial for profits, as the U.S. just charges way too much for production, and they don't really have the demand that these developing countries have for labor. The labor demand is needed, and that's going to help keep production prices low for this product, and hopefully driving the profit margins up. So I recommend going to a foreign country, probably not China, because of the current state of our government and the tariffs that have been implemented. So I would suggest partnering with a firm in Mexico or Costa Rica or even the Philippines. And if you do go to a partner in South America, those would also drive down costs, as logistical reasons. It's a shorter distance to get that product to the States as it would be, across over in Europe or Asia. So this is my proposal, and thank you for your time.